All right. Hey, everybody. Christian here. Back again for part 6. If you're watching this 6-part free series, my goal here is to really make clear the superiority of one medical system versus another. I went deeper into this topic than anybody else I know. For what it's worth, I even got a graduate degree looking at ancient medical systems and how they fit together with the modern medical system. This is still a very, very new area of focus, but fortunately, the big important points are not difficult to understand. I've given them to you in this 6-part series. What is it about ancient medical systems that makes them so advantageous when it comes to treating chronic conditions specifically, right? Well, if you have a medical system that's really focused on one factor, oh, you have acid reflux, you have stomach acid, right? Block it, right? It's like, no, chronic digestive illness is way more complicated than one thing. It's multiple things. If it was one thing, your body would have healed it, right? So the ancient medical systems and the system that I'm teaching you that I discovered and learned and went very deep into and actually ended up practicing in hospitals, all the possible fates that could have befallen me, that was probably the strangest one. And yet the value of this ancient medical approach is so obvious when you see it for chronic digestive problems. It trumps everything else that's out there. And so I talked to you about ancient medicine. I talked to you about the modern medical system. Why is it blind? Like, why is it not set up to treat chronic conditions? I went deep into that in several of the videos, parts 2 and 4. And then I also talked to you about the language of your system, symptoms. If you understand what your body is actually saying, I mean, your symptoms are like indicators on the dashboard. If you know how to read the dashboard, right, it's actually easy to get to the solutions, but you have to have one extra piece, which is you need to know what the symptom is saying about your organs. Which organ is producing that symptom? What does it mean about the function of that organ? Okay, if you know what that means, if you know what's happening inside your various, what I call pivotal organs, then you have huge advantage. You're not guessing when it comes to treating chronic, when it comes to healing your own chronic digestive condition. There's no guessing involved once you can do these things. That's why we spend some time right away in the pivot protocol talking about, hey, here's what you need to know if you're going to heal your condition. Do you have this, X, Y, Z? Do you have difficulty swallowing with lots of mucus, or do you have dryness, right? We need to target exactly what's going on with you. And I do that starting with a very simple 1-question quiz to get the dominant type of your acid reflux, or if you have IBS, what stage of IBS are you in? Are you in stage 1? Are you in stage 2? Are you in stage 3? Are you in stage 4? That matters because all of this stuff tells us where we need to begin. Okay, so I've spent some time in this series really making clear to you, look, you can use modern medicine. You can use new age medicine if you want to. You're never going to get well, and you're never going to get well because you can't get well using those approaches. But if you use an approach that makes sense, that makes logical sense, that you can follow, that you can actually go through like, yes, I do have this. No, I don't have that. Okay, that's the organ that's causing it. Now we know what to do to rebalance your spleen, your liver, your stomach, and your intestines. Then this process actually is pretty smooth. And in this last video, part 6, I want to make very clear what every other approach is really missing. Go online, go on YouTube, go on Google, and run a search for acid reflux cures or remedies or healing acid reflux, for example. What you're going to see, without exception, unless you land on my page, right, unless you see something that I've put together, what you're going to see, what you're going to find doing all that searching, I don't care where else you go. I don't care if you get the Mayo Clinic. I don't care if you hit Harvard. I don't care if you see, this guru doctor or this MD or who it is. It doesn't matter. They're all the same and they're all wrong. And here's why. When I explain this, you're actually going to say, that makes sense, right? These people and all of those solutions are focused on the thing that's outside you. So I've given, as an example in this series, I've given, I won't say who he is. I actually don't care who he is. It doesn't matter. And I'm beating up on these people for a reason, which is why I'm not using names. You can figure out who I'm talking about if you care to do that. But the reason I'm pointing this out is actually very important to your healing. These people who, for example, say, hey, if you have reflux, eat ginger. It's like, okay, so then ginger cures all reflux. But we obviously know that that's not true. Just drink apple cider vinegar. And it's like, okay, so apple cider vinegar cures all reflux. Why does anybody have reflux? That's my question. If cider vinegar cures it all, everybody should know that, because it's not that, right? There's nothing high level about that. We should all just drink apple cider vinegar and nobody would ever have reflux ever again, world without end. Amen. But obviously that's not true, is it? Because lots of people have reflux. So that cannot be the solution. Your doctor says, take this pill and it will block your stomach acid and then you won't have acid reflux. Well, if that were true, then why does anybody have acid reflux? Right? The problem with all of those approaches is that they start by focusing on the actual solution way before we know what solution we need to focus on. So if you're following along with my logic here, and if you've watched the other videos, this should be obvious to you by now. It's not the thing that's outside you that matters. All of the solutions that say, hey, just take probiotics or eat yogurt, or, the doctor says, don't eat any carbohydrates. Really? That's a solution? Really? No, you should probably eat lots of carbohydrates. You need them. I'm here to tell you, you can eat carbohydrates just fine. It's not going to cause your reflux or cause your IBS. No, it's not. It's not the carbs that are the problem. It's not the yogurt or the probiotic capsules that you're taking. All of those things may be good for some people, but they will cause illness in most people most of the time, because it's not the thing that's the actual important solution. It's not the thing that you should be focused on outside of you. When people come up with, hey, eat ginger to beat acid reflux, they're leaving out, and you could fill in anything at the end of that sentence, like eat X to beat, right, IBS or reflux. When you're focused on the thing that's outside you, you're leaving out the most important part in the equation. The most important factor is you. It's your symptoms. It's your condition. It's the thing that's causing your unique presentation of your pattern of symptoms. You can chase those kind of solutions. You can eat ginger and drink cider vinegar, and right, you can do all the things that everybody else very incorrectly is telling you to do, whether it's your doctor or, all the health and fitness gurus on the internet. But it will never get you to the right solution. And the reason for that is we need to know your situation at this moment in time before we apply a solution. You may think, but wait, if we figure out my symptoms, doesn't that mean I can just do that solution over and over? It's like, no, it doesn't mean that, because once that solution has run its course, what happens to you? Well, you have different symptoms. That's what happens to you. And if you keep using the same solution that helped you before with the new symptoms that you have, not only is it not going to work, it's actually going to make you sick again. This is why people cannot heal and get out of chronic disease. You cannot get out of a chronic digestive illness without this very important step that I'm teaching you in the pivot protocol, which is how do you identify your exact symptoms? How do you discover what's going on with your organs at a given hour of time, and then treat exactly what you have without treating something that you don't have? This is actually much, much easier to do. And the results from it speak for themselves. I mean, I'll post somewhere either near to this video or at the end of this video, the testimonials of other people who have used this approach, but you must take into account your pattern of symptoms. That's what the pivot protocol is teaching you to do. Every approach that says the solution is this thing outside you is looking in the wrong place. And whatever solution they tell you will eventually make you sicker. Not only will it not help you in most cases, because again, the example that I gave in this series is, but how do you know if you're the person who will benefit from ginger? Well, you don't. unless you understand how to target your symptoms. That's what the pivot protocol does. It's this important step. It's like 80% of your recovery is just getting this right. And nobody else teaches it. Nobody else teaches it because it's not in our medical system. It's something that comes from ancient medical systems where you have, it's called pattern discrimination. You're trying to figure out, like, what is my exact presentation of my symptoms so that we treat exactly what I have and nothing that I don't. And when that pattern changes, you had heat, now you have dryness. You had heat, but heat created dampness. Now dampness is worse. Let's treat dampness. What else do we know about dampness? Well, dampness is also partly caused by the weak spleen. So we got to treat that. If your spleen is weak, I guarantee you your liver is overheating. So how do we treat that? Where do we rank all of these different symptoms in terms of importance and prominence? Where do you begin? If you have 9 things going on, which one do you start with? That's what you figure out when you go through the pivot protocol. Because without that focus, without that targeted awareness of what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve, you cannot get well again. You can't. It won't happen. You'll just go round and round, and you may get better, but then you'll get sick again, and then, right? You kind of give up, and you just start doing whatever your doctor tells you to do. That's what happens for most people, even though you know it's not going to help you. Okay, so this 6-part series was really designed to give you a better look inside the pivot protocol and to really hopefully motivate you, right, in the proper way. It's like, no, you really do need this system. You really need a way to understand your condition that's going to save you from all of that. It will save you from buying tons of supplements. You don't need tons of supplements. Nobody needs tons of supplements to cure reflux. If you want to try a few supplements, I tell you which ones to use for which condition, for which symptoms, when they work, why they work, what time to take them, you know, what exact specific situation you might try some certain supplements. They're very cheap. I don't sell them, so I don't make any money off of them, but you need to know about them so that you're not buying a bunch of expensive supplements. One doctor I know who treats digestive illness, he's on the internet, you can find him, right? $70 a bottle, and you need at least 2 bottles a month, right? Yeah, right. Do the math. I mean, that's, you know, what is that? It's $1,500 a year. I got a lot better to do with $1,500 than to buy supplements, right? Which may make you worse, quite honestly. Definitely make you poorer. You don't need that stuff. If you want to convince yourself, go try it. Try it for a year. See how much better or worse you are. And then when you're ready to start, get started with the pivot protocol, because this is the system that will actually save you from all of that misery. Why not just start here? Yeah. If you haven't gotten started on the phase 1 material, do so. You can click below and go through the quiz. If you haven't taken that already, there's a link to IBS quiz. What type of reflux do you have? Pretty important question to answer, right? That way we know where to start, in the right place. What stage of IBS are you in? Click the IBS quiz if you want to find out. And also, if you want to join my group coaching call, this is my last call here. If you want to get on a private call, it's not a private call. A group coaching call is just that. I have 6 people. We spend an hour on the phone together on a call like this. We'll do it on the internet. And you send me some information ahead of time so I know exactly what's going on with you. I'm going to review that. I'm going to make some comments, and then I'll spend 10 minutes with every person on the call and go through your situation and help you get over your obstacles today so that your healing breaks through to a different level right away. And then also tell you where to go in the material to actually find what you need in order to follow up. Why would we spend time on the phone when I can just direct you inside the material? Hey, go here and you can learn about the spleen and intestines or whatever you need to know so that you put the right solutions in the right situation. Okay, this is the fastest way that I know to apply the pivot protocol. It saves you a lot of study. It saves you a lot of just going through material. Not everything in the protocol is going to be relevant to your situation. You don't have everything that I can teach you. You have a specific presentation of digestive illness. So you want to know the solutions that you need to apply. I'm showing you where to go inside the material so you apply those quickly. That's how you heal fast. Okay. It's also the most economical way for you to get personal coaching from me because it's a group coaching call, but you're still getting 10 minutes with me where that's plenty enough time where I'm going to take you right through what you need to do next, then what you do after that, and where to go to find answers and solutions that you can apply to keep you going forward. Private coaching and private sessions with me, I start at $1,500. Okay. The group coaching call is nowhere near that amount of money, which means almost anybody can afford it. And if you need to get well, if you've been sick for a long time and you've really had it and you need to get your health back and you know that there's nothing else out there for you, I strongly encourage you, take a shot at the group coaching. You'll be very happy that you did. This will save a lot of time, a lot of struggle, and get you where you need to go much, much faster. Okay, and that link also is below. You'll fill out a short form with some information on your situation. I'll review it, get it back to you, and we'll set up a time for the group call. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this 6-part series. And those of you who really want to fast track your healing, I don't know of any other situation where you can get this kind of actual high-level interaction to solve your digestive problems, to get you out of crisis and back into the healing that you're looking for faster and cheaper than this. So I hope you take advantage of it. And I hope this 6-part series has given you enough reasons to actually want to try the pivot protocol for yourself. Thanks very much. I'll talk to you again.